Trinidad and Tobago is still plagued by instances of child labor, which impacts the physical, mental, spiritual, moral, and social health of children and affects their ability to access education. While there are laws to protect children against child labor, the policies are not clear on what constitutes light labor and hazardous labor, making it difficult for officers to enforce the laws and take the necessary action. For this reason, the Ministry of Labor is consulting with stakeholders across the country. They were in Tobago on Wednesday. Reporter Candice Jackson has the details.
Children can be allowed to work, but it must be permitted in a way that protects their rights. In other words, it should take the form of light work, according to Candice Young, Acting Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Labor.
Light work, which does not compromise their education, health, or development, can provide valuable learning opportunities.
However, too often, children are taken advantage of. Administrator in the Division of Infrastructure Quarries and Urban Development, Carl Murray, pointed out that adults exploit child labor without recognizing it.
That every time we eat a bar of chocolate, oftentimes we are eating the product of child labor. The very clothes we wear, the shoes on our feet, are often the products of child labor.
Latest statistics from the International Labour Organization, the ILO, estimate that approximately 1.1 million children throughout the Caribbean are being exploited. They also estimate that the number might have risen by 326,000 post-COVID-19 pandemic. Natalie Willis, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour, noted that Trinidad and Tobago has done well in reducing instances of child labour, but it still occurs and can be evidenced by children selling on the side of the road or working in agricultural fields. It can be under the guise of assisting parents with work, which is why defining acceptable work for children is necessary.
Without established lists, recognizing instances of child labor in hazardous or exploitative conditions becomes more difficult. Industries like agriculture, tourism, construction, or the informal sector may present increased risks to child workers.
ILO representative Risal Melville explained that the minimum age for child labor should be 15 and should only involve light work.
Light work, which is allowed, which is encouraged even for teenagers, is considered any form of economic production that is performed for less than 14 hours in a given week, and it is not hazardous.
Younger children can be exposed to the world of work, but only under the following stipulations. Ages 5 to 11, no more than 1 hour of economic work or 21 hours of chores per week. Ages 12 to 14, no more than 14 hours of economic work or 21 hours of chores per week. Work should not affect their education, involve dangerous tools, heavy machinery, or occur under hazardous conditions. It is hoped that by the end of the consultations, labor officers will have clear guidelines on what defines light work and hazardous work to enforce the laws. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.